There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our August Stamp and Craft. I see some people are here. Hello, Robin. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. Today we are going to create with the August card kit as well as the August Stamp and Craft. We're going to create two cards today. Let's grab them here. This card here featuring the card kit, that awesome Abraham and Katrina stamp set. We're going to use that to create that focal point, the Victorian frame to frame it up, and then a little sentiment. I like this one because it also incorporates the pumpkin, and I just like that. Really does, I think, give you that Ichabod or Headless Horseman theme. Hello, hi Beth, hi Lee, hi Cheryl, welcome, welcome. Then we'll be creating this card here featuring the August Stampin' Cut set. There's also the Abraham and Katrina stamp set used on this card as well. It's a light up card. Obviously, to do the light up part, I did pull from the card kit as well, the holographic rainbow film, the acetate, and the light as well from that kit. But this one's cool, has a little light up look. Let's see if we can get it better on screen. It's hard to show these captured, but back when I photographed them, I have to turn off all my lights, which is so weird. But this is a fun one. It's kind of themed. I'm going for Leota from the Haunted Mansion. It's kind of what I was thinking. And I don't know if you can see, but Katrina is there. There she is. That's a little bit better. You can see her. And we do use the bonus item, which is the Magic Mist stencil for the background here and behind in the crystal ball. So very fun one. All right, I'm going to switch over to my other camera. Unfortunately, my Stream Deck is not working today, so it's going to be a little clunky. Let's switch over. Picture in picture. There we go. I know, it's so hard, right, Rosie? In fact, I was photographing Oh, and the guys, I went full Halloween. We've got my pumpkin here. I have my spider earrings, which you can't see. And, oh, you just ordered it? It's awesome, Beth. You're going to love it. And then I busted out one of my tiki cups. This one's from, where is it from? Let's pop back to the other view real quick. This is the only chit chat I'll do. I'll get to the cards. But this is from Trader Sam's. If you've gone to Disneyland or Disney World, there is a tiki bar and restaurant, and they have like collector tiki cups that you can get. And this one is like for the zombie, and it's so spooky, right? I know it's kind of creepy, but I love it so much. And I have my little glass bamboo straw. So you'll see me drinking from that. Hopefully it's not too creepy. Yeah, you're going to see me. I'll put that all together. A little freaky, yes. But this is the time I can be a little spooky and get away with it and not be too weird. All right, we're going to start with this card here. We're going to start with our card kit card, one that features just the card kit. And we're going to start by stamping our image of Abraham. So I'm going to grab my Misty. Halloween is good for me too. Anything Halloween is good for me. Gets me kind of out of the slump of endless summer that we encounter here in Arizona, because it will not be cool here for November, maybe. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot for quite a while. So I need something to kind of get me through. All right. And we're going to pop back over here. Maybe I'll have to stay here. I kind of like the big screen. So we're going to start with the Abraham Cartoonist stamp set. Let me pull it out of my box here. Oh, and by the way, if this is the first time you've come to one of our Stampin' Crafts, we have them every month featuring that current month's card kit, and then a bonus card featuring some other item from the whole release, the whole Hero Studio release for that month. And then at the end of the live, so at the end of this live, I will sneak the upcoming card kit. So I will sneak September's card kit. I've got it all over here ready to go. So we will check that out as well. Yeah, see, Robin, you totally get it. Yeah, we need like something to break the monotony of the heat and hot and just being uncomfortable, and for pretending it's Halloween and just kind of embracing that, you know, mentally can help if you can't physically feel it. All right, and I am going to use the acetate placement sheets. I find them so helpful. Yep, a sneaky peek. Oh, and I forgot, if you hear my cuckoo clock, I turned it back on because I was missing hearing it, and I haven't turned it back off. So I apologize. It's a little noisy right now. Oh my gosh, I'm having the hardest time getting this acetate off. All right, we're just going to pull it all off. Some stuck to the, I was trying so hard to not have some stick to the back sheet, but they did. That's fine. That's fine. We'll just pull them off. All right, now I got to get my Abraham guide. That's Katrina. Where's Abraham? We'll need this. Let's get the Victorian frame. We'll use that. And the dies. We'll use the coordinating dies as well. Here he is. There's Mr. Abraham. And we did have a sleepover. Unusually hot here in Texas. I'm sorry. I feel for you. The heat is, it just gets to a point where you're like, I can't do it anymore. It's been hot so long. I start thinking, I'll never feel cold again, ever. But of course, that's a little bit dramatic. All right. We're just going to stamp the clothes. That's really all we're going to stamp. So these 3 layers, as well as this outline layer. But we'll start with this layer here. I don't actually need the acetate for this. I don't need the placement guide for this layer, but I will have it. And I do apologize. I'm going to be chewing gum today. My throat is a little off, and I just need that little bit of extra. Like if I had a hard candy, I would do that, but I don't have one. So the gum is helping kind of, I think my allergies are going off. All right, for the base, for that layer of the stamp, for his first layer of his clothing, I'm going to ink it up and stamp it in a light gray. I'm using Hero Arts Granite. It is my favorite season to craft too. Oh, that's perfect, Beth. And then that was perfect for you. I love Halloween releases too. I've been saying a lot, and it's really true. Halloween is like the only holiday I'm pretty good about sending cards. I think it's just because I send them to my sisters, and I even will drop a couple off to my hairdresser because she likes Halloween as well. It's just I find that a lot of people love Halloween, and they just love. It's just really fun to give a card to them that's Halloween. It's kind of unexpected. And then they can have it up for decoration. So I don't know. It's kind of become my new favorite theme for cards. Yeah, our Halloween card kits, Polly, have been really popular. Our whole Halloween releases. It's definitely becoming, I think, a card crafter's favorite thing to craft as well. Did I say noon Eastern? Did I mess up on the time? I apologize if I messed up on the time. I don't think I did, but I mess up a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if I did. All right, I stamped it a couple times in the granite. That looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp, put it away. I am so sorry, Doris, if I got that wrong. I apologize. You've been waiting and waiting. I'm so sorry. All right. All right, and we're going to pull out the next layer, which I think the acetate makes it a little bit easier. This layer right here. This is the one we're going to pull out and stamp now. Looks like that. If I'm going to use the acetate, I need to kind of pull it away so I can get a little bit more space and pop it up here. And then I'm going to line it up. So I just line up that printed image till it looks like it's in the right spot, you know, just visually like that looks right. So once I feel like I've got it in the right spot, his buttons are a good indicator. The collar right here is a good indicator. Then I will take the stamp, and even though it's pretty stained, I can line it up with that printed image. Now I'm going to lean my head over side to side to really make sure I'm lined up. Because my stamp is so stained, it is harder to see. But that looks pretty good to me. So that's lined up. I'm going to pick it up now with my MISTI. Remove the acetate. And we are ready to stamp. This is going to be our darker gray charcoal. Robin says, I don't really make cards too much, but I can find a way to do Halloween in anything. There you go, Ramen. I love that. Yeah, there's a way to make something Halloween-y. We'll go ahead and do it. We're going to do it. We're going to embrace it. And, you know, like, speaking about, like, with bringing up my tiki cup, there is a whole, like, tiki Halloween, I don't want to say niche. That's probably the right way to say it. So it really is, like, Halloween is infiltrated so many different, people's love for Halloween is infiltrated so many different spheres. Even things that don't really seem like they should go, but to me it makes sense. I don't know, tiki Halloween makes sense to me. It's kind of a retro swamp creature. Okay, now we'll move on to his chest here. And I'm going to pull out this stamp right here. Kind of looks like that. Pull that stamp off. This one I can probably eyeball. My stamp's pretty see-through still, and it's a pretty easy one to line up, this layer. So I'm just going to eyeball this one. No need for the acetate for that one. And this we're going to ink up and stamp in Antique Ivy, which is kind of a creamy one. Second only to Christmas, I agree. I may have messed that up. Oh no, I think it's still in the right spot. Yeah, I love Christmas too. Christmas was always my favorite. But I think what I realized, and yes, Christmas infiltrates everything too. Yep, there's definitely Christmas tiki stuff for sure. I think Santa in Hawaii, kind of think that it works there too. Yeah, I think what I realized is that I had more time to celebrate Halloween. You kind of could start right after the 4th of July. So I really liked that. I like that the ability to just kind of, you know, it feels more like you can worth putting the decorations up, you know, like just because you have so much more time. Yes, I feel you, Robin. I think my kids definitely, of course, love Christmas more than Halloween, but Halloween is my favorite. I mean, they like Christmas, they like presents, they like Santa, you know, they like that stuff. All right, we've stamped his clothes. We're actually done with that. The last thing we're going to do is just stamp the detail layer. And that is this stamp right here. I think I'll use the acetate for this one as well. Out. Just for that added reassurance that I've got it in the right spot. Again, I find the buttons are a pretty good place to kind of use as a guide, and his collar, but the upper part of his collar. Once I get that acetate in the right spot, I'll then use a magnet to kind of hopefully hold it in place. Summerween. My husband used that term, and yes, I bought the my pumpkin pillow just this summer. So I was like, I'm ready. Like, let's bring it. Summer wing for sure. All right. I'm going to pick that up. I think I got that lined up pretty good. And now we'll just stamp it. And this time we'll just stamp it in black. Oop. And the kitties are going crazy. We might have Oliver join us today. He has been very, very much wanting to help in all my lives. He's right now playing with his sister. So today you might hear cats. You might hear kids. Because the cousins did sleep over. That wasn't the bestest of job, but well, we're going with it. I might have shifted my paper and I didn't realize I did. But it's okay. It's pretty good. All right, I'm happy with that. So there's our stamped image. There he is all stamped out. We're now going to die cut it out with the coordinating die. But actually, let's go ahead and stamp let's die cut everything at once. Let's go ahead and stamp the pumpkin now. So I'm going to grab the base for the pumpkin we're stamping. Excuse me. I told you my allergies have been bad. We're going to start with the base. Do you love the idea of the guide? Yay, I'm so glad, Robin. I found the guide super helpful, super helpful. So I'm so glad it was included. You might not need it for every layer, but it is nice to have it all kind of at least sectioned out. Just visually, you can see all the parts that that make up Abraham. And then, oh, you really like it, Polly? Well, that's good. Yeah, you could make your own, but I understand that's not, you want it when it comes. I think hearing you guys say this is really good feedback, and I will pass it along to the design team. I was actually a big advocate for the positioner in this kit. And I find it really helpful, but sometimes what I find helpful isn't what others find helpful. So the fact that you guys are telling me it's helpful for you too is very good feedback, and I can pass it along to the design team, and it helps me advocate more for, have more weight behind the things that I'm saying when I'm like, well, they told me, they told me they liked it, and that way we can make sure it's included more and more. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, for the pumpkin, there's a lot of parts for that. We have the base, a detail layer, another detail layer, and then the stem. So like 4 stamps for the pumpkin. All my stamps are falling off. They just don't want to stay on no more. I need to clean them. I got a lot of use out of these. Great. I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me feel really good. That makes me go, okay, good. Or I'm on the same page as you guys. It definitely helps me. I'm just going to stamp the base here. We're going to stamp it in a light orange, which is papaya. I can hear those cats running around like crazy. Yeah, I made a lot with this month's Hero Study, a lot of cards. In fact, if you guys want to see, I'll pull them out. I've showed them many times, but if you want to see all my cards I created for this month with all the products, I would be happy to show you guys. I think I've shared them all in some capacity, either on my blog or Instagram or lives, but I'm always happy to pull them out again. All right, that guy's done. Stamped it a couple times in that papaya. I felt like I didn't need a layering guide for the pumpkin. I felt like they were pretty easy to line up, so I didn't push for that one. But sometimes I'm not always sure. So the next layer is this one right here, and it's stuck to my back piece. So I'm gonna pull it off here. Ooh, he's very sticky. Let's put that there. I know, Robin, it's hard sometimes. I understand. All right, we're gonna line this up. I'm just gonna use the bumps down here at the bottom and the bumps in the pumpkin, just kind of line them up. So I felt like I could eyeball this one pretty good. Pick that up, and this will be stamped in pumpkin. Of course, right? Stamp it in pumpkin. All right, Robin, I'll pull them out real quick. I'll pull them out after we make this card. I'll pull them all out, and then we'll move on to the big daddy card, the light up card. There's kind of a lot of parts to that light up card, so this one's not. This card is actually pretty easy. The hardest part is just stamping Abraham. And it's a little bit easier when we're stamping Abraham here because we didn't stamp his face. We just stamped his clothes. So we cut some of the layers out. And the reason why we're not stamping his face is obviously because we are putting a pumpkin over that. All right. I think my pumpkin is a little dry, so I'm having to stamp this many a times, but that's good to know, Polly. She's saying, I do have to say that I'm having trouble fitting the newer packaging for Hero Studio stamps and dies in my storage system. They are too large. Have you been using what do you use, Polly? Like, I got you, girl. What are you using, like, for storage? I'm just curious, what is your storage methods? Because that helps me understand, like, what you guys are using. I'm using Hero Arts envelopes. But they are big. I understand that. Like, these envelopes are huge. I don't know what the size is. 7 by 9. And most of the things I can fit into these, but we don't have, everything's gotten bigger as of recently, Polly. So you're right on, you're spot on. And I'm thinking right now we don't have magnet sheets for those large envelopes. And I think we need some. So that's one thing, but maybe it's your whole system, like your shelves and everything. 9.5 by 11 binder. Ah, good to know. Take a little sip. I will keep that in mind, as I think we're at the point where we need to rethink how we do our storage envelopes a little bit, because just like you said, everything's become kind of large. All right, we're moving on to the next layer, which is this one right here. So this is the third layer, only one more to go. And the last one's kind of, is just the stem. So, whoop, the kids are getting loud. I don't know what they're doing, but they're playing, and that's good. They're not on devices. Taking a little device break, which is great. For this one, we are going to ink it up and stamp it in Cup of Joe. Let's try that again. Oh, gosh, I love this pumpkin once it's stamped. It's looking so good. Layer stamps are, they're a bit fiddly, right? Like there's so many, it takes so much stamping to get to the one finished image, but they're so worth it, I think. They just look so cool when they're done. Oops, not 9.5 by 11, 7 by 8.5. Okay, good to know. So the large envelopes I'm using are a little bit bigger, but if that's not your storage method, that's not too helpful. Because that's not a binder. All right, there we go. I stamped it. I ended up stamping it a lot of times. I don't know why I kept. But super cute. Okay, we're going to finish off with the stem. I won't say much of this because I've recently re-inked my Cup of Joe ink pad. So he's a little bit extra juicy, and I kind of a little bit overstamped with him, but that's okay. The stem is this teeny tiny little piece right here. Again, this stuck to my backer carrier kind of acetate sheet. Just gonna eyeball that. That looks good. And I'm gonna stamp this in a green though. You probably won't see it because the stem is mostly brown, but that's fine. I'm gonna use Field Greens. It's kind of a sagey green. I love it. It's become one of my favorites. I'll do it one more time, but you can't really see this just because I overstamped a little. But, oh, so that's almost done. The last thing we have to do is stamp the face. Yeah, that's a great question, Polly. What does everybody else use for storage? I know everybody's got kind of different systems. I like binders for stencils, but I am not a well-organized person, so I feel like I can't give you guys a lot of advice on this. I don't have my products, you know, organized really efficiently, so I really feel like I cannot give advice here. Oops. And the next thing we're gonna do is just the jack-o'-lantern face, which is right there. Pull that down. They really do make the difference. I really agree. It looks so cool. And the fact that you're stamping it, you can change the colors. You can make more of a golden kind of pumpkin if you want. Or a green. I love that, being able to do that. Oh, great. Rosie, I know, has amazing ideas for everything. I know for storage, I'm sure she's got great things. I use the large Avery Elle envelopes for the kits. That's good to know. Rosie, what size are those? They must be huge. They must, I think they're bigger than the Hero Arts envelopes. I love it when it stamps this face on there. It just changes. It looks so cool. I think that's it. All right. We got our jack-o'-lantern. We've got our Abraham outfit. We're ready to die cut these things out. So we're going to grab the coordinating dies. Put that jack-o'-lantern away. Tuck that down there because we are not done with that stamp set. And here we go. And pull out the Abraham die and the pumpkin die. Cheryl says she uses Avery Elle as well. That's good to know. I used Avery Elle for a long time too. I think they were very affordable. 7x9. Okay, so they're just the same size then of the Hero Arts one. Okay, cool. Oh. And I'm going to use a couple pieces of tape to hold this in place. Got some, of course, stuck to my die cutting machine because I waste nothing, not even tape. I think that's us crafters, right? I've gotten better. My sister is sometimes appalled by what I will throw away, but I've got to the point where I can't, you know, I can't keep some scraps of paper anymore. I don't have room for it. Oh, the Avery Elle just don't hold up as well, but I'm not using it all the time. Then it's fine. Got it. Yeah, the Hero Arts ones seem very durable. I will say that they feel very strong, like they don't break at the seams, and they're sturdy, like they hold up. Oops. So they provide a little bit more, I think. I say protection, but yeah, I guess protection for your stamps and dies. All right. Whoops. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. All right, there we go. Grab our tweezers. Oh, I got all this crud on here. It's okay. I need to clean my plate. They're a little inky. These stamps are great. And we'll do this guy. Oops. Removed a little bit of it, which is annoying, but I don't think it's bad enough that I have to worry about. It's fine. Ah, that sounds like a really good way, Cheryl. Cheryl says she uses small and medium Hero Arts envelopes for dies and puts them in with the stamps in the Avery packets. Okay, let's put these dies away. All right. So this guy is going to be glued onto here. You may find that you can just glue it right down. You may feel like you need to trim a little bit of the head off. That's fine, but do leave some of it on. It just is a nice way to just easily stick it down. I think I'm going to trim a tiny bit of his top of his head off. Sorry, Abraham, you're getting a little haircut. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to glue it on yet because I do want to see what my space I'm working within the Victorian frame. I just want to see that space a little bit better. So let's put our frame together now. So I've got some black cardstock. And let's grab the frame. We're going to do all 3 of these frame layers out of black, all of them. Black on black on black. I think I can fit them all onto here. I can. Barely, but I can. So I'm going to fit all my frames onto an 18 panel black cardstock, and I'll just run this through my die cutting machine. All right. Pop that out. Hi, isn't it a great collection? I love your cards you've been creating with it. Your light up cards are so good. There's the base. Actually, I should say the base for the frame. This is like the back portrait. There we go. And gingerly pull this one out. There we go. Wow. My favorite black cardstock was Hero Arts Pitch Black. But sadly, we do not have that anymore. So I guess it's the Raven from Spellbinders is pretty good. Pretty darn good. All right, let's layer this up. Grab my liquid glue. So little dabs here and there. There we go. Stick that down. I love this little detail on the frame. So smart. It's such a good die, this little frame die set. And frames are one of those things that you can use for so many things. So keep that in mind. Don't let this, it's not like, it doesn't scream spooky. So I think you could use it for so many different occasions, and just frames are useful. And then I love that layering. Like, this is the way I'm doing it right now is probably not the best way to show it off, but it's just got so much texture that way and depth. So good. I do take advantage of it more in my other cards, which I'll show you again at the end of this. And you can see I did a little bit of ink blending. Okay, before we put this together, we need to figure out how he's going to fit in here. And then that will help us decide how we want to glue the head down. Yeah, I think just like that. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of lift it up a little and add a little glue so I don't shift it around too much. But I don't know why I'm being so silly. I have liquid glue. I got a little chance of wiggle room it. I have a little bit of time. Yeah, the frame is so good. Need to make sure he still has somewhat of a neck. Let's pull him down a little bit. And again, thing is, you can always cut off some of his clothes if you feel like that's showing too much. Which always is like, oh no, a little bit scary. Now you can move it around a little bit. Oh, look, you know, the part where it couldn't, I ripped a little, you're not even going to see, it's going to be covered by the frame. Doesn't he look so good? So handsome. So handsome, spooky guy. Okay. We are going to go ahead and just glue this right down. So he gets glued right down onto the base of the frame. So I can lift that up. Stick him down. Let's see, are we still good? Yeah, still good. And then for the rest of the frame, we're going to pop up with some foam adhesive. Gotta grab it. I have some black foam adhesive strips, so that's what I'm going to use. I think it just makes it look so clean and professional looking. Stick those down. There we go. And we'll do the last little bits here. I got cat hair on everything. I see all these little cat hairs. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's cat hair everywhere. Ah, Oliver. Yes, he would make a great headless horseman. I need to watch that film again. I haven't seen it in a while. Actually, I haven't watched any of my Halloween things yet, which is so unlike me. I don't know what I've been doing. What have I been doing? By now, I've usually started a couple. At least watched Stranger Things all the way through. Usually watch that every summer. But I've seen it so many times all the way through that I kind of like, I need a little break, I think. Especially since they're not making, don't have anything new for a while. I'm like, it's killing me how long it takes to get new seasons. Cutting off the cat hairs. There he is. He's all framed up. Look at it. He's so good at that black background. He just like pops. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now we're going to be a little extra, and this you do not have to do, but we're going to make a little hanging string. I think it just adds that little detail. And to do that, I'm using actually dies from the August die of the month, die set of the month. So again, it's just extra, not necessary. But if you were wondering, wait, how did she get that little string? I do want to show you guys that. So I think everything's behind me. Yep, here's all the products. We're going to use the cat head, and all my dies have fallen off of my sheet here. I really should have transferred these to a magnetic sheet, but I'm running out. I'm running out of magnetic sheets. I need to do what we talked about last live about where everybody gets their, oh, there it is. Their, how they store their dies and where they get their magnetic sheets. And I learned that everybody uses, what are they called? Like covers for vents, magnetic vent covers. Cat hair is definitely an embellishment. It's a little bit of glitter, right? Like a little, it's almost like cat glitter. We all know what real cat glitter is. Either litter, actual litter, because they get litter everywhere, or their dandruff. But I love them. I wouldn't trade them for a world, for anything. They're so fun. Okay. I try to put those back, but they're all going to fall off again, so whatever. Rosie says, I'm trimming that chipboard down and adding that to the packet, so it's thick. It's perfect. Ooh, I need to do that. I need to do that. Okay, so these are the 2 dies I'm using from the August die set of the month. The little hanging witch shoes and the cat. Now, I'm only going to use the negative from the cat's eyes for that little nail. And then we are going to get the, this string is really all we're going to use. The girls have got kind of, the cats are our whole families. But yes, really, they're kind of more the girls because we adopted a sister and a brother. We still call them the kittens, but I don't know if they're really kittens anymore. I'm going to cut out the strings for the witch shoes out of this charcoal or this anchor cardstock. It's really dark, dark gray. I said charcoal because it reminds me of our charcoal ink. Spell check gets me into so much trouble. I'm dangerous. And I am like a fast texter. Like I'm not really concerned about being grammatically correct and spelling things right. So I just send things out without really checking it over, which I really need to stop doing because the stuff I've texted sometimes, thanks to spell check, have been borderline inappropriate. So I need to do a better job with that. It's gonna get me in trouble one day. Now I'm going to die cut the cat out of the silver to make the little nail. No worries. Thank you. All right, there we go. And there you can see the eyes are like circles, so they make good little nails. Yeah, it gets us all. It's out to embarrass us quite thoroughly. Okay, we are almost done with this card, believe it or not. This one's come together pretty quick. I'm not going to cut the shoes off. Let's move this over here like this. Just going to glue the shoes right behind. Let's put that piece of tape back. So it has that string visible. Question is, where did my glue go? There it is. I use the frame to kind of help me center, like the center part in the frame. That looks pretty good. That's pretty good. Polly, good. You got to entertain yourself, right? All right, and then I grab one of these little eyes from the kitty, and I'm just going to glue it right to the string. I think I'm going to have to use my embellishment tool here. was calling it a jewel pick in another live. And everybody was very confused. And I was like, I think that's what it's called. Embellishment tool. These are really helpful because that little wax tip does a great job picking up cardstock. I need a little bit more glue. Now let's try sticking it down and then using the other end, kind of press it in place, and that is done. I used it was cut out with the die. It's just so tiny. It's stuck on let's show you the die. So here's the cat die. See, the eyes are actually cut out. The die cuts out the eyes, and I'm using just the negative. So really you're intended to use this piece for your projects, but I'm like hacking this, and I'm using the little eye negative, and it is teeny tiny. Let's see if I can pick it up. Using that little eye negative to be the nail. So super tiny. That's all I used. Yeah, you could use it with the frames too. You can kind of take advantage of, if you like the way the string and the little nail looks, you can do that with for all the frames in that really awesome die set. And I do really love that die set. I almost picked it for today's live, but I wanted to do the light up, and I just felt like it would be weird to only light up one frame instead of all of them. I don't know. Maybe I should have done it, but I didn't. I chose the crystal ball set. I'm hanging the picture with an eyeball. Exactly. With a cat's eye. All right. We're ready to wrap this up. The next thing we have to do is trim down this piece of coral cardstock. We have carrot and coral. Cut this to, and I wrote it down, 3.5 by 4 3/4. Grab my paper trimmer. So on the long side, I'm going to cut it to 4 3/4. So right there. And then on the short side, we're going to cut it at 3.5. There we go. And that is our little kind of matting frame there. Tuck those scraps away. Can't throw those away. All right, we're going to go ahead and glue all this. We're almost ready. We do have the sentiment to do. I forgot about that, but we'll do that fast. And actually, while we do that sentiment, we'll go ahead and take care of sentiment for card number 2 as well. Might as well get all that heat embossing done in one go. Would a 1/8 punch? Absolutely, that would totally work. Yes, you could use so many other things. You could even use like a little silver gel pen if you had that. You could just draw it on. If you happen to have one thing that I think is so essential for card makers to have, if they do heat embossing, is to get a Versa marker. These are awesome. If you ever have any like heat embossing little glitches, like little mistakes, these allow you to kind of take that embossing ink and apply it wherever you want. So you could just do a little embossing marker right there and heat emboss with silver. You could do that way too. There's so many ways you could do that and get that look. And again, I don't even think you have to do it. It would still look really cute without the string attached. I just like that little extra detail. I do like it. Okay, first thing we do is adhere the carrot panel, A2 panel, onto our card base. Let's see if I can do it right. Should use the well of my Misty, but I never do that, so I just always forget. It's a great tip though that I've seen other card makers do. Okay, we got it there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this down as well. I do need to make the sentiment though before I put the frame down, just so I can get the spacing right on everything. So we're at that point. Time for the heat embossing. All right, I think let's try it. I gotta stand up. Can't do it seated. It's always off a little. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. So we almost ready to stick him down, but let's do our sentiment so you know the spacing real quick. So back to that Abraham and Katrina stamp set. Let's go ahead and pull that out. And since I want to save a little time here, I'm going to grab the stamp set for the crystal ball set and stamp my sentiment as well. Do I have enough room here for both? I need more cardstock. Let's grab another panel. There we go. I'm using right now Tombow Mono permanent adhesive tape runner. These are great. Spellbinders also makes another one that I really like too. I think it actually glides a little bit more smoothly than this. I'm just out of that one. I need to get some more. Where did my panel go? I got it out. Is it under here? There it is. Can't see black on black. Okay. We're going to grab, I did Trick or Treat. Let's do it again. So pull that one off. And then I'm going to use Stay Spooky for card number 2. Alrighty. Just do these two boys, these two sentiments at once to save a little time. Okay. I'm going to apply some anti-static powder because I am heat embossing. Which is messy. Let's clean that off. Okay. And then I'm going to ink them up in Hero Arts Unicorn Pigment Ink. I like it for heat embossing a lot. So, and even though I'm not doing white embossing powder, I'm doing silver, I'm still going to use it. I just think it does such a great job with fine detail. We'll stamp it a couple times though. There's something weird on my stamp. Let's get that off. We don't want weird things on our stamps. No, thank you. This should be the last time we have to stamp it. Perfect. Now we're going to dip, well, pour rather than dip silver embossing powder from Hero Arts. It's the only color I don't have in a, well, I shouldn't say only color, but it's one of the ones that, you know, we commonly use that I haven't committed to a Tupperware. And I'm starting to feel like I need to change that. I need to put my silver embossing powder in a Tupperware because it's just easier, I think. And neater as I spill all over my table. Though, let's be real, I'm spilling with the containers as well. I'm going to put these dies real fast. I'm worried they're going to get lost here in the shuffle in about 2 seconds. right, I do see a little spot that I need to clean up. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. Just going to scrape it off. I think that's it. Usually I'll take a black marker too. That's another way I'll kind of hide. If I feel like I've got some stray embossing powder, I'll do that. Let's see. A heat tool. Grab that. All right. Let's heat set this real quick. Almost. All right, now everything is all heat set. Let's put that down there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and die cut it out with the coordinating dies. So yay, coordinating dies for the sentiments. I love that. Just now I use a tub for just clear. Yep, I can understand that. I have a black one. Ugh. I had my black. This is a sad story. And I do only have myself to blame. I had my black embossing powder, which I love. I love detailed black embossing powder. There's some times where you really need it. It's like the darkest black, a little bit of shine, a little bit of dimension because of the heat embossing. It's just beautiful. Black embossing powder is wonderful. So I had it committed to a tub, which I know a lot of people probably wouldn't do that with black, but I did. But my Tupperware didn't have a lid. It was like I was actually putting it in a tub because I was, here we go, I need the dies. I was kitting for class and I just needed to be able to do it really fast, and I had it in the tub. Well, that was fine for a long time without a lid, just leaving it on my shelf. Well, guess who discovered it? Oliver. Oliver discovered my powder and was obsessed with it and like kept knocking it over, kept smelling it, putting his face in it. I'm like, dude, everywhere I put it, he would find it again. That stinker. So now I've got it really, really high up and far away. I just did not expect my cat to be obsessed with my black embossing powder. So I've lost so much black embossing powder. And I need more. Yes, it was not good. He had it like stuck to his little nose. I'm like, dude, I'm sure this is not good for you. Why do you want to be in this? Like, why do you want to be smelling this and playing with this? It's so fine too. It's not like sand. So, oops. I don't feel like it's like kitty litter, but whatever. He liked it, and that's the truth. All right, we're gonna die cut this. One little tip here with die cutting, and sometimes you'll find this, definitely more true for some dies than others. For sentiments, sometimes it helps to die cut it this way as opposed to this way. When you do it this way, it'll shift it, and it might shift it down. It seems to move around less when you do it this way. But it does matter kind of like the direction of the image, I guess. They are wild. Yes, that's totally true. Cats are wild indoor besties for sure. Yeah. I'm relearning kind of like all the mischief kitties can get into, because my kitties that I've had for a long time are seniors. I have one senior kitty left. And she's not doing all these shenanigans. She's just napping. She's chilling. But these new kittens, they get into trouble. So I'm having to like kitty proof my house a little bit more than I used to. They are very mischievous. And they're getting into things, you know, like some things you'd be like, yeah, I understand why you're getting into that. But the embossing powder, I could not understand why he was getting into my black embossing powder. I felt that was so weird. All right, look at that sentiment. So good. And then it is what makes them fun. Keeps you on your toes, right? You never know. And there's our sentiment for card number 2 ready to go. Look at how well that die cuts. Like it cuts out the negative space between the stay and the spooky here. Love that. Those details really matter to me, especially. I think they just end up with a lacier, more professional looking cut. It allows you to see kind of what's going on in the background. And I just like that. I love that look. Okay, tuck these away. We are on home stretch here. Okay, grab all my card back out. Okay. Alrighty. Again, I'm going to pop this up with foam adhesive. So I'm going to grab that black foam strips. If I can figure out where I put them. Oh, they're right here, right in front of my face. Always where it is hiding, in front of my face. They just fit this 1/8 of an inch strip. They just fit on here. And the fact that it's black on black does help too, that it keeps it a little bit more hidden. Perfect. And we'll add a tiny bit to the top. Kind of support it a little more. Start to remove the backing on all this, and we're ready to stick it down. Now move on to our light up card. Okay. And I'm just going to glue this down with liquid glue. They can be little weirdos. They're for sure weirdos. But they're so cute. And they're like spazzing out. It's so funny. They're so crazy. All right. There is our finished card. Very, very fun. Love our Headless Horseman. Love the orange, kind of making that all pop a little bit more in that black frame. So good. Love that background. Okay, we are on to card number 2. Real quick though, as promised, I'll grab my cards and show them real fast. There is a whole mess of them. So I'll try to be fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but since I promised, I will show them. I'm going to quickly clean these stamps though and put them away before I show them all, because we're going to need our Misty here for card number 2. Thank you, Polly. Oh, I'm glad you like the hanger. I know it's a little thing, but I think it adds a lot. I almost debated not even doing it, not including it when I made it, but I was like, I don't like, because I didn't want people to be mad that I was using a whole other product from the kit, but I loved it. Loved the way it looked. Okay, I'm gonna tuck these back in. This head is, so, oh, there's our cuckoo clock. Put this back in real quick. All right, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. All right. Some of these are duplicates because I've made them twice for videos or whatever. So first we have this light up card. Let's see if I can get him. There he is. Just Abraham there stamped out. A couple pumpkins for details. Here's a card I actually created this one live so if you want to see how I made this in real time, so it's alive, you can actually check out our August spotlight, and I created this card then in that live. Push here, and I have our jack-o'-lantern guy there. Seen this one, but this one was done a little bit different. It's a little bit brighter. In person, it doesn't seem as bright as it seems here in the camera, but I can actually see more of the details in his face. This was actually stamped on acetate as opposed to cardstock. We'll be using cardstock for today's light up card, but I just wanted to show you that as well. Here's a couple here's the card I created with Abraham and Katrina with kind of really crazy, funky colors. Here's a little bit more traditional one. I actually created a video for this card as well. You can see that. Actually, there's a video for these cards over on Hero Art's YouTube channel. It's an edited video, so it's not in real time, so it's shorter. And you can see how I made this light up card as well as how I stamped these. Yeah, the green skin's fun, right? Love the way they look stamped out. So cool. Here it is again, because again, I made it twice for the video. Here's the card featuring the Magic Mist stencil, which we'll be using for our second card for this Stampin' Craft. Here's a shaker card with the August Stampin' Cut set. I love this card so much that I kind of took this inspiration. Yes, it's very much like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I totally, Robin, I feel like I really resonate with that. Yeah. Here's a card featuring our Abraham and Katrina. Again, went for the Headless Horseman look, but this one's really showing off the layering stencils, the August layering stencils. Here's those awesome dies. August die set of the month. So fun, all the different frames. Here's another version of that, or another card featuring that, I should say. Love how you can make your little vignettes, each one of them different. I did not repeat. I think besides the witch, I kept them all different from before. So I think that's so cool that they can be easily flipped around and changed. Thank you, Polly. Here's a card featuring the cling, that beautiful cling. It's actually script from the from the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It's actually text pages kind of from that story. Really great. You can even see Sleepy Hollow right here. So cool. And we have Katrina here with her mask and a bunch of moths. Here's another one featuring the layering stencils with Abraham. Again, kind of ghostly colors. This was definitely inspired by Haunted Mansion. I was kind of going for that Haunted Mansion color palette. And then here's another shaker card. This one's showing you how that crystal ball can be used outside of Halloween. It doesn't always have to be strong Halloween feel. And I colored the moths or butterflies. I colored them more like butterflies. Okay, so that's my cards from the August Hero Studio. Let's make our card for today, which is, again, this card here, which is a light up card. And we're going to start by creating what you actually see behind the crystal ball, which is, in this case, I'm going for Madame Leota. I'm turning Katrina into Madame Leota with some beautiful blues color palette. Okay. What I've learned with these light up cards is if you use a lower weight white cardstock, which I have here, This is actually 65 pounds, so a lower weight, which is usually we want higher weight cardstock, right? The lower weight cardstock allows more light to pass through because the light actually goes behind your stamped image, which is very different. I know I was very confused about that when I started making these light up cards, but your light goes behind your light up image, your stamped image. And the lighter weight just means there's less material for the light to go through, so you get a brighter color and it just works a little bit better. Yeah, I thought that's why I picked us. Like, oh, I've got to put Katrina in the crystal ball, right? And of course, when you're thinking of crystal ball, what else are you thinking of besides Madame Leota from Haunted Mansion? All right. Let's start with the Abraham and Katrina stamp set. We're actually going to stamp all layers for Katrina, but get that placement guide. You don't really end up seeing much of her clothes, but I'm going to stamp them anyways. I'm going to start with her base for her clothing here. And I think, I'm trying to remember what I stamped her clothes in. I mean, I have the list. I think it was the purples. Look at this again. Yeah, I did the blues for her hair, the aquas for her skin, and the purples for her clothes. And again, won't really see this, but we're going to do it anyways. Just in case. Okay, we're going to start with her base for her clothing. There. And again, this is a lower weight cardstock, white cardstock. This is 65 weight. You can use a heavier weight. It still works. It's just not as vibrant. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. I love crystal balls. I understand. I understand you're scared to use your light. I was scared to use my light for a long time. But use it, you know, like it's hard sometimes to, I know it's hard to kind of break that, but you know, we don't want to have it sitting in our craft room forever. Put some, I've got too many inks out. I need to put some of them away. Can't focus right now with all these inks away. All right, we're going to grab our inks for her clothes. We're going to start with, let's move my foot. I'm hitting the camera. That's bad. Amethyst for her dress. Oh no. I did find that some of my stamps in the crystal ball set are different heights, so I had to reset my Misty. Oh, in thickness? That's weird. That should not be the case. All right, that's the base for her clothing. Now we'll move on to the detail for her clothing. I can still eyeball. Obviously, you don't need it for the first layer, but the next layer, you might want to use acetate. I feel like I can, or not acetate, the placement guide. Excuse me. I can just eyeball this one, so I'm going to. That looks good. We're going to stamp this in a darker purple, grape juice. Nice. Do it a couple times. Love it. It's always magic when you see those layers start to have a little bit more contrast and really pop. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty in purple. All right, there's her beautiful dress. I mean, come on, gorgeous. All right. Now we're going to stamp this layer right here. Oh, no, sorry, this one right here. the base for her face and chest. This one I am going to grab my acetate for. Probably could eyeball it, but just to be safe, line it up, let's try to do this more on camera. There we go. So line the acetate up, the magnet on top, line my stamp up to the acetate. Remove that. And we're going to stamp her skin in Arctic. Arctic is a really beautiful light pool or teal. One of my most favorite colors from Hero Arts. I'm going to do one more time. There she goes. You know, I should have been stamping a mask this whole time, and I haven't been doing that. So shame on me. We'll worry about that later. I forgot about that part. Okay, we're moving on to the next layer, which is this one right here, the detail for her face and chest. Pull that away. Again, I'm going to use my acetate. Placement guide, line it up, then line my stamp up to the image. Let's try that again. I think we're there. Okay, pick that up. And it says, I'm starting to make videos on my card making and I can never line up well with my camera. Yeah. And of course it's my phone, so it's even thicker. I'm using my phone too. My phone on my desk is my desk view. And then I have another camera. It's an Insta360 for my forward facing. But it's hard sometimes to, when you're in the middle of working, realizing if you're on within shot, the shot of the screen, I guess is a better way to say it. Okay, so for this layer, we're going to stamp it in Paradise, which is like a darker teal. That's awesome. You're making videos. Oh, cool. Oh, on Instagram, that's perfect. Videos on Instagram are great. I love Instagram videos. And I have what's holding my camera up. I'm using a mic stand. It's technically a mic stand. And because I can't have anything on my table. My table is bouncy. I'm an aggressive stamper. I'm an aggressive ink blender. So I can't have anything on my table. So my stand is on the floor and hangs over my table. And that works really well for me, holding my camera and everything. I do have like an attachment that's connected to the mic stand. Like I had to buy an additional attachment because obviously the mic stand isn't intended for your phone, but it works good. A number, that's a good idea. Ring light, oh, that's perfect too. I have so many lights. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 lights. Lighting is such a beast. And I have like backlight. I have a window light to the right of me. I even have my table because I'm a dining room crafter. I have my dining room table light on, which I probably shouldn't, but I do. It's crazy. Okay, that is her skin stamped. She's looking pretty spooky, right? Now we're going to move on to her hair. And then we have our final layer, which is like the detail layer. So this is the one we're using right now. Yeah, lights are, I've accumulated quite a lot of lights. I bought 2 light sets to light up my, and I don't even feel like it's dark over here, but I do need them all, I think. All right, let's use our acetate to line this up. She's looking so beautiful. All right, I'm really going to rely on looking side to side to make sure the stamp is lined up. Carefully move my hands so I don't shift my acetate. And we are ready to stamp this. For her hair, we're going to bring in some blues because I feel like Madame Leota is like blue and teal. At least that's what I when I went and looked at pictures of her online, I saw her illustrated that way a lot. We're going to use Summer Sky for her hair. This will stamp some features in her face as well, some shadows in her face. Oh my gosh, it's looking so good. Stamp that a couple times. I think my sky blue needs some more ink for sure. We're just about done there. Okay, I'm going to call that done. Remove the stamp, and our final layer, the detail layer for her is, again, this stamp right here. Mine's all shifted so it looks weird, but it's that stamp. Typically I do this in black, but for this we're going to use a dark blue. We're going to stamp it in indigo. So we can get her. Okay, I think she's pretty well lined up. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Pick it up. Yeah, I feel like the black should be less spooky. I agree. This will kind of make her look a little, I think, more vaporous. That's a word, right? Oh, I did not do the bestest job of lining that up. What did I do? Did I shift it? Well, we're going with it. It's not great. I'm not sure what I did wrong. We're not stamping it all over again, especially since this is going to be a light up, so you won't notice so much. All right, you guys will see. Oh, I did not do the best job lining it up, but that's okay. Like I said, I don't think you're going to really notice once we get it behind the light. It's a little off. She looks very sleepy. It's not terrible, though. I'm not sure what I did. Didn't take that extra time, but I think we're okay. I'm going to clean my stamp a little bit, though. Yeah, I think she's okay. You can tell still, like it's not like you can't tell she's a person. You can still tell she's a person. So Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it perfect every time. Clearly I did not, and that's okay. I'm still going to use it. Okay. Now I didn't create a mask. That's what we need to do now is create a mask. I should have been doing this, like I said, while I was stamping her out. I should have popped in this and stamped it. Actually, I couldn't have done that. Never mind. We'll do it this way anyways. Now thinking that would actually wouldn't have worked. Unless I made a little mark for where the Post-it note is supposed to go. We really only need to stamp really this and maybe her neck, just to kind of see where it is. So stamp this base layer here. I'll just stamp it in indigo real quick. That's fine. Doesn't have to be a great impression. That's good enough. But I don't really have enough here from the image to kind of figure out where I need to cut, to fussy cut this. So I do have to stamp another layer. We can do this one here. I'm just going to eyeball for right now. That's good. Because this does not have to be perfect. It's just close enough, you know, again, because this is going to be lit up, but we're going for a, the light doesn't light it up like super crisp, so it's okay if it's not perfect. And my final layer, I'll do her base for her clothes. Just eyeballing it, we'll stamp it in amethyst just like we did before. Real fast. I swear I eyeballed that better than I did my actual image. My actual Leota. All right. So this is, I didn't mention this. This is a full adhesive Post-it note. These are what I use for my masking all the time. The reason why we're masking is because we're going to ink blend around her our kind of spooky, gassy looking vapors, I guess. I'm going to use vaporous a lot today, aren't I? And this does not, again, have to be a really great fussy cut because nothing needs to be perfect for this. So I'm quickly cutting like these little bits of her hair that kind of stick out. I'm cutting them right off. I'm not worried about that. I'm cutting into the actual stamped image a little bit. Let's see if I can get my scissors out of here so you can see. Can you see like the leftover bit? Because it doesn't matter if a little bit of the, you know, ink blended vapors get on, you know, on her a little bit. That doesn't matter. It is tricky to cut because it's so sticky. And I'm going to stop there. I don't need to cut the rest of it. That's great. Because again, you only end up seeing like from here, like maybe here up. It does depend on where you place the perfect. Where you place the light, we end up placing the light, but I like the light closer to her face, and that's why when you put it closer to her face, you end up not seeing the rest of her chest and dress and everything. Okay, now it's time for that Magic Mist stencil. I had it out. Here it is. And we are going to use this and this here. That's it. And it was really helpful for me for lining these up because these actually, they're two layers. This is the base, Let me smooth this over here so you can see better. This is the base and that's the detail. And they do line up. Like if you took this and slid it right over, it'd line up perfectly there. Now you don't have to stress about getting this totally perfectly lined up, but I'm going to try. That's what I'm going to try. So to help me a little bit, make sure I don't get confused, I'm going to make sure the Hero Arts is legible and in the lower right corner. You can kind of see the logo here. And then over on this side, you should have the SKU, which is HSK0825B. So as long as I can read that, I'm good to go. We're going to start with the base. Center it like something like that. I think I'm going to look at my card here just to see again. Yeah, that's good. And let's get... My paper's a little big for my grip sticky, my stamp wheel to hold everything in place. So I'm going to just use it on tape. We're going to start with Arctic and then we'll finish with Paradise for the second layer. I do need to get my blending brushes. I forgot those. Where do you get the full sticky? I got mine. You can get them. You could probably find them at like Target or Walmart or definitely like a office supply store. Of course, Amazon has them as well. You can buy them on Amazon. Okay. And it's Post-it brand. It's not, I mean, I guess it's name brand, but if you can find full adhesive someplace else, another maker, I think that'd probably be fine to use too. We're going to start with Arctic. Hey, Charlene. How are you, friend? Have your kids gone back to school? Has that madness started? We started a little while ago, actually. We have been back for a couple weeks now. I think we're on week 3. All right. That's that first layer. Now, I get confused with this stencil so easily. So I'm just going to slide this part right down, and that should line up pretty well. Yep. That lined up perfectly. All right, and this is going to get our darker. I know, I feel you, Charlene. I'm always sad. I'm happy too when they start because it's like, oh, good. They're getting to see their friends and getting out again. But I do miss them being around. They love it. My daughter is they do drama. She loves it. She loves it so much. She really looks forward to that. I'm so glad she's found something she really likes, you know, like her niche, you know. All right. That is done. I'm going to go ahead and remove where's my tweezers? Who knows? There they are. Remove our mask for the awesome reveal. Very, very cool. There she is with her spooky background. Very, very fun. And I'm going to just ink blot a tiny bit. And we're ready to go. Okay. So now that she's all stamped, and ink blended, we can die cut her out. I'm going to use the coordinating dies, of course. There's 2 crystal ball dies. One that cuts out like just your crystal ball base. We're going to do that for her. We will move on to this next to create the front part for the crystal ball. But again, I'm going to refer to my card here just to see the positioning because I have the sentiment I want to get on there. So I do want to hover down. I think that is pretty good. And it doesn't have to fit perfectly. That's totally okay because, again, a lot of this you won't see. Some tape to hold it in place. And let's die cut her out. Let's see, where's my, there it is. All right. There we go. I'm going to clean this up a little. My plates are dirty and with some ink, and it's making some residual. But there she is. She's good, ready to go. Toss that. Let's move on to our other parts of our crystal ball, starting with the stamped crystal ball. Now I'm going to stamp this onto colored cardstock. I'm using Anchor again, really dark gray. Have a panel. Let's grab it. Here it is. Now the best way, it can be tricky to line up your, things are getting out of hand. I gotta move stuff. This face stamp keeps falling out and it's making me nuts. Okay, here it is. All right. It can be tricky to line up the stamp to the, actually what you'd be doing is you'd stamp and then you'd line up this die to your stamped image. That's tricky because you can't see it's solid. You can't see it. So the best way, this is just a, I don't know what kind of eraser this is, but if you see a white eraser, now this will not pick up ink like all the time. I've just found it works to pick up like some residual ink that's on my plates. So I try this first to see if I can't get the ink off with this, then I'll move on to the Tombow Mono sand erasers. These are amazing. These are great for moving ink, but they are like sandpaper. So they are actually scratching off a surface, a bit of your paper. So just keep that in mind because that can change the look of your, it will pick up ink, but it might change the look of your paper a little bit because you've now sanded it, and it might end up looking a little lighter or possibly a little darker in that area where you sand, especially on colored cardstock. So just keep that in mind. But if you look for white erasers, I think white erasers are all made out of the same material. So look for that. I definitely know I just bought some for my girls. I just don't remember the brand for school because I really like these erasers. And we bought them at Target. Oh, do you really? I didn't know they made those, Charlene. Charlene says she has a double-sided mono sand eraser. One side has the white rubber and the other is the gritty. Oh, great. I'll have to try that. Do you find yourself using the white side often, Charlene? I have to get that. That's cool. I didn't know they make that. So like I was saying before, it's difficult to line up the die to the stamped image. So what we're going to do is die cut first and then line up the stamp to our die cut. That's the best way I found to do that. Line up the stamp to the die cut instead of the die to the stamped image, which is how we typically do it, right? We normally line the die up to the stamped image. This is a little bit different. Oh, cool. She says she uses the white side all the time. Okay, great. Yes, Pentel is the height. That's what I have, Robin, too. Pentel, that's the brand I remember. Thank you. So that's what I have, Robin. Robin's got the brand that I use, but maybe check out, because it's all in one place, the what Charlene's talking about, the Tombow Mono sand eraser with a white side and the sand eraser side. That's cool. I'm gonna have to get that. I love that it's all in one. Yeah, thank you, Charlene. Charlene's she's always figuring out the best things. I think she's got an eye for what makes things easier. I'm kind of the person who's just like, it's good enough. It's good enough. Which it probably isn't, but you know, I'm like, it's fine. All right. Maybe I don't need to suffer through it. All right, so we're gonna grab our crystal ball image. And this is another thing too of doing it this way, it helps is because the inside is open, it could have a tendency to be kind of warped when you pick it up with your Misty. She is a quality crafter. I agree. She's about quality. So by lining up to the die cut, you kind of help prevent that too. And it's still tricky. I'm still going to lean over side to side and make sure we're all lined up here. If you want another way to do this too, check out Mindy's video for it's the Our Hero Arts YouTube channel. It is wait, was it Mindy's or yours, Charlene? Now I'm not sure. But it's either way, it's on her Hero Arts YouTube channel, and it's the August Stampin' Cut. And you can see how she did it in her video. For another way to line up this. I think we're just about there. Again, I'm leaning side to side, making sure. Picking that up. Okay, I think we did it. I think it's all ready to go. That's good. You want to make things easier. I should want to make things easier. I don't know why I don't have that. Like, I've noticed that about finding good ways to make things easier. Some things I'm just like, it's good. It's fine. All right. For this, we're going to ink this up in core ink. I'm actually going to ink it up in charcoal. I just didn't want it to be that black. Wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. Here again is the card. See, it's a little subtle, even though charcoal is pretty dark. Ooh, we're pretty good lined up. Pretty good. A little bit off up here, but I'm happy with it for the most part. I should have turned my whole Misty around and checked more at the top. Top is always where I can't really see if I got it lined up well or not. I think we're almost there. One more time. All right. There's our crystal ball. Looks so good. All right, got that done. We're gonna let that dry. I do a little bit of Copic coloring on this. See a little bit of coloring. We'll do that, but I'm gonna let it dry a little bit because this isn't necessarily alcohol marker friendly ink, to ensure that it's not gonna bleed as bad. I'm gonna let it dry. While that's drying, that ink is drying a little bit, let's stamp our butterflies and then we can let them kind of dry as well. We are done with this crystal ball, so let's put him away. And we're going to stamp every single one of those beautiful butterflies. But we're not going to stamp them on white. We're going to stamp them onto Seaside, which is a very light pool cardstock. Here it is. So doing something a little different with this set, which is stamping on colored cardstock. I don't typically do that. Especially I don't stamp and then color on colored cardstock, but I really love the way my first, well, it wasn't my first, to be honest, it was my second crystal ball card came out where I did this, and I just love the way it looked. So I become obsessed with it, and I had to do it again. We're going to stamp these because we are going to do some Copic coloring, and we do just want these in black. I am going to stamp them in Hero Arts Intensified Black. This is an alcohol marker friendly ink, but you do have to let it dry. That's where some people make a mistake. Really does have to dry. I always heat set it before I color it. Even though I'm going to let this dry, I'm still going to heat set these before I color them. And you do want to try not to stamp it like 6 times. So I'm going to try to follow my own advice and not stamp these 100 times. So I have a lot of black ink on the surface. That doesn't help either. But it is such a great black ink. It's waterproof, which is awesome. It's like waterproof as soon as you're done, like stamping, which is crazy. So I use it a lot, and the fact that it's also alcohol marker friendly is pretty cool. I think I just need to do, okay, we're on layer 3. I'm getting a little bit over inky. Okay, I'm gonna call this one done. I think I did this the third time. I think I start to lose count very quickly. Why are you not stamping? I think I just need to do this one more time and then we're done. Okay, I can call those done. Okay, clean that off. Throw all those guys back onto here. Alrighty. And we'll set these aside to dry as well. We're now going to move on to kind of cutting out our other components for our crystal ball, mainly the light up part. One thing we do need to do is cut out a bunch of scrap cardstock with our crystal ball die, which I've lost, of course. Where'd it go? We're going to stack it up to make dimension. You could cut this out of foam, craft foam if you want, instead of cutting all the layers out. I might have to do that to save time, but I don't know if I have any craft foam left. I've kind of run out of craft foam. And I've also lost the die, so that's another problem too. Where'd the die go? It's not there. Ah, I found him. Oh, okay. We'll need this one for the acetate, and we'll need this one to die cut several layers, stack it up. And you need like, because that light mechanism is thick, the little light up kit thing that you put in there, it's pretty thick. You need like 4 or 5. Can I get it out of this? Ooh, cool beans. I can use this. Good, because I've got a lot of these. Let's grab this. Got a lot of the scraps. Charlene, I'm definitely not crafting. If I haven't lost something, then I am just going through the motions. I feel like it is an essential part of card making for me, is losing stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I'm digging through my scraps to see what I got to die cut these. Here we go. There's another scrap. That'll work. I'm so excited about that scrap. That scrap is left over from making the nutcracker Mig Mouse slider. And I have lots of those for whatever reason. Well, the reason is because I made a lot of those big mouth nutcrackers. That is precisely the reason I have a lot of those that size scrap left. So here, I'll use this. This is a good way to use your scrap. Unfortunately, it's a pretty large scrap though. All right, we're at 3. We only need like 1, 2 more to go. I think I'm gonna do 5 total, just to be extra safe, you know. Let's toss these. Oh, look at, oh shoot. I already used that one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Well, that's not one. Where did they all go? All right, I have to dig a little deeper. Maybe I can fit it on here. Yes, okay, we got 1. We just need 1 more. All right, we can use this. Okay. I think it's close enough. Close enough. Oh, I did it perfect. Just look at that. Just did it. Just got by. And last one. All right, we're going to stack those guys up. Here are all 5 of those together. Grab my liquid glue for this. This is just providing the dimension to house the light mechanism. And you could have cut this to save time. You could have cut it out of craft foam. That's probably thick enough. The nice thing about the paper, even though it's definitely more tedious, is I think everything sticks a bit better together, and the acetate and the acetate to the paper versus the acetate to the craft foam. And also possibly using up some scraps. These could have been stamped on. You won't see it. They were stamped on. You're not really going to see it. Maybe a tiny bit from the side, but nobody's going to see that, right? They're not going to. If someone's looking at that and complaining, don't give them cards anymore. They don't deserve your cards. They're complainers. And it's a light up card and they're complaining about seeing a little bit of ink on the side. Yeah. Give it to another card maker. They'll appreciate it. Okay. We're going to cut out the acetate now real quick and then put the holographic rainbow film on the acetate, and then we'll do our coloring. So I have a panel of acetate. Here we go. This will most likely not cut through it, but it will make an impression. And then I'll cut with the impression as a guide. I'll cut it free from the rest of the acetate. So don't be surprised if it's the same for you. I've never been able to really get acetate to cut through all the way. No cards for complainers, right? Yeah. I can't imagine anybody complaining, though, to be really honest. Like, that would be crazy. I'm going to do a little cleanup on my acetate. Okay, I'm going to cut this out. Yeah, see, no, I didn't cut through at all, right? But I have a very clear line of where to cut. And what's even better about this is that I'm going to cut it a little smaller than the outline. So it's definitely going to be hidden behind the frame, our crystal ball frame. So in a way, it makes it a little bit better. And it does not have to be a really perfect cut. Like, I'm not going to cut out all those little bumps there in the base of the crystal ball. No, I'm just cutting those off. See how I'm cutting it short? A little bit smaller intentionally. You do need to watch it a little bit on the ball part, because you don't have a huge frame that's covering up. It's only like 1/8 of an inch, but you do have some wiggle room. So there you go. Got that cut out. Yeah, I end up just fussy cutting it. I just let it be my guide. So I still run it through the die cutting machine, but I let it be my guide, that impression that it makes. Okay, now the holographic rainbow film. This stuff is crazy. Let's grab it here. It's super like reflective. It's like a little bit touchy, like it's a little sticky on the surface. So I avoid trying to touch it as much as possible because you can make fingerprints. I don't like running it through my die cutting machine because I find it picks up a lot of texture. So that's why I add it after I've cut this out. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to kind of eyeball it to fit. I'll cut off any overhang. I'm going to cut like a square. And again, I'm just eyeballing it. And I'm trying not to touch the actual surface of this stuff. It definitely looks big enough. I hope so. Eee. Did I not make it big enough? I hate when I do that. What if I turn it this way? Dang it, Shannon. I cut it too small. All right, I need to cut it bigger. Maybe I need to hold this to it. Oh, that'll be better. I think I did the exact same thing when I made it. It's shifting. Don't shift. You think I'd learn? Nah, I'm not going to learn. All right, here we go. I could trace. I just don't want to. I'm really trying to avoid touching it as much. I'm trying to touch it and work with it as little as possible. It's kind of finicky. All right, that works. That's good. Covers it. Holding up the die cut worked. Now we're going to remove the backing. This is always tricky because, again, trying to avoid touching it. And that piece that I cut that was too small, I will use that on another card. I am not throwing that away. It's definitely big enough for another frame. Okay, we got it separated. peel that off. Woo. I'm going to stand up to do this. Oh yeah, pretty good. Okay, got that stuck down. I'm going to make sure it's really stuck by taking a dry towel. Fold this up here. And then press over it. You can get rid of some of the air bubbles with this, but there's some that are probably going to stay. I know that can be annoying. You can kind of cover some of them up. It's not that bad though. I think I got like one air bubble here that's bothering me. Let's see if I can get him gone by pressing him out. I feel like I actually trapped something under the surface there because it's not moving. All right, well, that's as good as it gets. We'll maybe, oh, I think our sentiment will cover that up, so that's good. All right. Oh, good, Robin. Thank you for saying that. That makes me feel better. I'm going to cut off the overhang. Okay. I've got my crystal ball flipped over. That's how I'm knowing where to cut. All right. That was the hardest part, I think. It's just, I'm trying to do it perfect. Like you can see, I'm going to touch it here. Let's see if I can find another piece. I'm making it seem a little bit more finicky. It is a little finicky, but I am being a little dramatic. It's because I'm trying to get it perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. But if I press on it, you know, you can't really see a fingerprint. It's just, I can kind of see it a little bit, just a tiny bit. So don't stress too much about touching with your fingers. I think maybe because I have dirty fingers all the time, it's worse. I don't know. I remember touching it and I was like, oh no, you can totally see my finger. And there's just nothing, like, you got it all assembled. It's stuck down to the acetate. And then you realize you got your fingerprint on there. That's really annoying. So the towel makes it error-proof for me. Okay, that is going to be actually adhered directly on top of this. I know. Crazy, right? We're covering it up after all that stamping. You do want to be careful when you stick this down that you only put glue on the sides. You can put as much glue here in that area that you want, but around the sides, you want to keep it less glue. Always have something on my fingers. It's yeah. Even before the live started, I had Copic marker or Copic alcohol ink on my fingers as I quickly refilled one of my markers I'm using to color the crystal ball, which we'll do in just a second. Believe it or not, we're really going through this pretty quickly. Like, it seems like it's all over the place right now, but we are making strides. All right, I've got the glue on the edges, it glued down here. I'm going to weight it down with this, and then we're going to color. So let that dry a little bit. I'm just going to push it off over there. We got that done. Let's color this. Color these. I'm going to quickly heat set all of this so it's I'm really confident that the ink is dry. Start with this. onto this one. Ah, it's 2. Grab my Copic markers. Okay, I'm going to use C5 here and just color along the sides in a little bit. She's very juicy now that I've refilled her. Gotta love that. I think I'm going to take C3 and blend it out a little bit. Gotta reach and grab it. Oh yeah, blend that out a tiny bit. Add a little undershadow here and there. I don't think you can really mess this up. Gonna add a little undershadow, actually one of these detail points. There we go. So a little bit of shading, so our crystal ball looks a little more three-dimensional. Very cool. Then we'll move on to our butterflies. I've grabbed B02. We're doing a little bit of coloring, very minimal coloring, just adding a little color to some of these portions of their wings, just to make a little contrast. Let's do... I think the kids are getting restless, so I do need to kind of go into overdrive here, speed things up a little bit. So I apologize if I start going really fast. But again, the coloring is very simple here, just adding a little bit of this blue to the wings. See how that adds so much? Just a tiny bit of coloring. All right. We can die cut these out, but I'm going to wait because I'm afraid I'm just going to lose them. I'm going to put those aside right now. And let's put our crystal ball and our light up mechanism together. Yay. Okay, I have one light left. One battery, one light left. Pull that out. Open it up. Whoa. Very easy to put the light together. This right here is the button. Right there, that's the button that you push. It's not turning on yet because I haven't put the battery in. And that's your light right there, that tiny little yellow-orange rectangle. That's your light, and it is powerful. Don't let the size just fool you. You're going to take the battery, have the plus side up. It goes in to the curved side. Just feed it in. And now it's ready to go. That's simple. Now if you're going to test it, I do encourage you to put your finger over the light because it is so bright. And then go ahead and press that little button. And you can see how it works. Super cool, right? That light we're going to end up putting right behind, what's her butt's face? Leota's face. All right. So this gets glued onto here. So let's glue our colored crystal ball onto that acetate with the holographic rainbow film. and which also has our Madame Leota stamped image glued behind. It is bright, Beth, yeah. Yep, definitely make sure you have your finger on it before you test it because it will hurt your eyes. All right, just stick that down. Stick it down. There we go. I'm going to weight that down just for a second. While that's weighting that down, just to not waste any time, let's die cut these butterflies out. Even though I said I didn't want to because I was going to lose them, but now I feel like let's do it to save some time. Let's put this out of off screen over here. And we do have our sentiment done already, but we still have our background to do. But we are actually on home stretch, believe it or not. There's a lot of parts. But that's kind of how light up cards are. I could have made this more simpler, but then it may have been less pretty, right? And I have a hard time doing simple. I try, but I just not very good. I'm good at overcomplicating things. I'm good at adding more and more and more. I'm a more is more girl, I think. I try to be clean and simple. It's just not my nature. Okay. Ooh, that's terribly lined up. Shannon, try. Do better, please. These nails are making it impossible. I need to get my nails done so bad. I just haven't had any time. I just got back from Hawaii. My sister got married. So it's been a little crazy. Like I just got back Wednesday, and even though I'm in Arizona and I should not be complaining about this, but the time difference had me dragging. A little bit of jet lag. I'm getting there. But, it's hard to come back from vacations, right? It's hard. A lot of love is in complex cards. Yeah, I don't have a problem spending a lot of time on cards, but I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody wants to spend 2 hours making a card, which I understand. I get it. I will sometimes make fast cards, but sometimes I get really into the process. I just love it. I'm from Arizona, so I only had it's only a 3-hour time difference, so it wasn't terrible, but because we're on Pacific time right now. But I can't even imagine. We had some people from the wedding who were from Salem, Massachusetts, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you guys. Not to mention the flight was like 12 hours long for them. It was so long. We always do, right? But then you feel like you can't take any more time off. So it's like, I do need more time to recover, but I can't have more time. Look how cute. Adorable. Put that back there. We are rocking and rolling here. We are doing great. No Oliver, though. I shouldn't say that. I might summon him, but he hasn't come up here and I want to go to Salem so bad. He's my sister's friend who lives there, and I'm like, can I come and stay with you? I want to see I've never been to Salem. I want to go really bad. I know it's horrible around Halloween when everybody wants to go, but I want to go even still then. Have you ever gone during Halloween, Robin? Okay. Those are cut out. We will place them hopefully safely over here in a little pile so we don't lose them. That's what I'm most scared about. Over here in a safe spot, hopefully. All right, let's put this light crystal ball together. Oh, you know what? We can put it together, but I can't really stick everything down until I've made the background. Kind of forgot about that. That's okay. Well, let's glue this anyways. We got to glue her. Got to glue this part. You can see her stamped onto our stacked crystal ball anyways. So let's just go ahead and do that. I am worried that I got a little too much glue, so I'm gonna try to spread it around. This is right precisely because I do these things is why I have icky fingers. Not for Halloween. I decorate my front yard, so I like to be home then. Perfect. That makes sense. The month of October is insane. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I feel bad for everybody who lives there, because it's got to be terrible. But I do want to go. At least once in my lifetime go. I would like to go actually to just the East Coast in the fall, because like being from Arizona, we just don't have like really fall. We just don't really have fall. Yeah, I can drive up and see some color that's not too far away, but it's still not like as immersive. As I know the East Coast would be. All right, that's stuck down. We can pop this in. So what I ended up doing for my card is had it over here to the side. You can see because the push button's over here. So that's kind of how I had it positioned. So we can do the same. And when I push it, I'm gonna, what am I gonna push it with? I just don't want to get my fingerprints on here. I'm so worried about messing it up. Push it with there we go. Now, this is kind of silly right now doing this because I can't stick it down yet, but I can just kind of show you because I can't keep it in this position right now. But I'm kind of moving it around, figuring out where I want it to go. So maybe right there, like I'm shooting for like in between her. It's a lot different. I must have had it like this. I must have had it like more angled. Yeah. Something kind of like that is what I'm shooting for. She looks spooky. My off stamping has made her look even spookier. I'll show you when I get it all together close up. Okay, but I can't put that down yet because I need to make the background. All right, we have an A2 panel black cardstock here, ready to go. Let's just glue it onto our card base. We could just get that out of the way. Let's see. And then we'll do the fun, cool background, which is actually pretty easy, but it does require some kind of masking. Ooh. The kids have come out. The kids have emerged. Can't take it anymore. They've left their room. Just totally fine. Just might hear them a little bit, though. Okay. Got that stuck down. I am going to use my stamp wheel. Here we go. I will cut off the overhang though. I have like a little, I don't know if you can see that, my card base is a little big. That's going to drive me nuts. So I got to cut that off. I have my scissors just positioned under the panel. So I'm not cutting the panel at all, just the card base. Leaf peeping, yes, I would love to just see that someday. Okay, sticking that down. Let's grab our stencil again. Here it is. Okay, this time we're going to ink blend because it's on black cardstock. We've got to ink blend with white pigment ink. We're going to use, again, I'm going to make sure that I have the label, the SKU, the Hero Arts here so I can just not get confused. We're going to go, here's the base, here's the detail. I will include some of these stars, but for right now, I don't want to do the stars. I only want to do this. think the best way to mask, the easiest way, is to use more acetate. So I'm going to grab some sheets here. We have this piece left over. We can use that. I'm going to cut it. Put it here because it sticks beautifully to the grip mat in your stamp wheel. Put a little piece up here to protect that. You could tape too. I could tape this area here. I just now need to put something here, and I think we're good to go. Put a little tape there. I could have grabbed more acetate too, but I'm just kind of using what I have around me. There. I think I can avoid that, so I think we're good to go. I'm going to ink blend with white pigment ink first. I did get the blending brush. Here we go. That's actually a really good idea, Polly. I never even thought of that. That's a smart. Polly's saying that it might make sense to cut the stencil. And that's not a bad idea at all. The only downside is cutting is not that it super matters for this, but you do kind of lose which is the right side. But you can make a mark on your stencil before you cut it, and or close to the, that section that you're cutting, or on that section you're cutting, to indicate which is the correct side. It doesn't, again, like, it doesn't really matter for this stencil because it's just it's not a letter or anything. It has to be a certain way, so it can be flipped over and used. That's fine too. It's just you need to maybe make that so in that indication clear, so when you do use the next layer, it's easier to line up. That's the only part. All right, we're done with that part. I'm gonna do it over here now. I think like that is good. Again, I'm gonna grab these to kind of mask off. Use my tape. Okay. This white pigment is so crazy. I think it's amazing. You can see that it's showing up on the black. I think that's unbelievable. It's such a good, the unicorn white pigment ink. It's just the best. It really is. All right. There we go. Looking so good. I'm going to do the stars now before just because I got the white out ready to go. So I'm going to do the stars. Kind of mask a little here and there. Again, using the acetate this time. There we go. Let's do some stars up here. Sticking these guys down. Put a little tape down too. What else? Do we need a little bit more stars here? We might be done with that. I just don't know if I need more stars there. More is more. It's happening again. Oops, I blocked this one a little bit. Whew. Today was a long one. I knew the light up card was going to take a while. I just never realize how long things are going to take sometimes. Sometimes they surprise me. Perfect. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I love the stars. It's worth all that extra effort. I'm going to do one more set of stars. It is what I did on my original card. I'm just going to stick with that as a guide. Okay. And then we'll be on detail layer for the smoke, which will be pretty easy to do. Cute. Look at how cute it looks. Oh my gosh, I love it. I know, Charlene, it's the best, right? It's just, there's nothing better. Okay, we're going to line up this area. This is definitely easier than the circular vapor to line up. I'm going to put this here. I'm just a little scared to tape, though, over my pigment ink. That's why I'm a little scared. Okay. I want to pick it up. Now for this, we're just going to do a little detail, with the detail blending with the teal ink, the Paradise ink. I think I need a tape over that instead. That's moving around too much. There we go. Where's my other piece? Here we go. Okay, we're taping on that, or kind of taping on the pigment. Oh well. I might not even need to do this because I don't think the Paradise is really going to show up on the black. It's only going to show up where that white pigment ink is underneath. Oh yeah, super cool. Look at how cool it looks. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, let's go over here. Flip it around. Line it up. That looks good. Use some tape to hold and mask. How can we do that? Like so? All right. Okay. I have a little exposed area. You know, I tried. That's a great question, Polly. I did try. So I didn't try the oxide, but I did try Hero Arts. We have two pools in our reactive inks, and our reactive inks are very similar to the oxides. They're a hybrid ink, a blend of pigment and dye. And they definitely work for this. I did find that for the second layer, because I did try for the second layer using one of the pool colors of reactive inks, which again are similar to oxides. I just felt like I liked the way that it was kind of making the pigment ink more transparent. I really liked that look. I preferred it over the more opaque look of the reactive ink or what could be the oxide. but that would work. You definitely could do it. It would have more color to it, but I really liked how this was kind of taking away, adding color, but also kind of taking away the opacity of the pigment ink. I liked that look a little bit more because I did try both. And this was just the one I preferred. And I thought I was going to like the reactive ink more. I thought, oh, let's try the reactive ink. That'll be really great. And then I was like, oh, I think I like the dye ink better because the Paradise is a dye ink. This is right there. Dye formula. Oh, heat tool first. I didn't even think about that. I should have tried that because it is mixing with the dye ink, but I'm okay with, I just like the way it looks, but that's a good tip, Charlene, to try drying your unicorn pigment ink if you don't want it to mix with the next layer you're putting on top. Okay, let's put it together. Okay, home stretch here. I need to like clean my hands a little bit here. All right. Home stretch. Look at how cute. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, let's pull cat hair out of here. Don't want you. This did get a little warped when I pulled it out, but it'll be fine when I let it sit for a while, but it's being bouncy. Right. I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on the back side of this. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for us to get this in the right spot. I'm going for it. I kind of, let's see. Oh yeah, we kind of got it right on the first go. Just adjust it a little bit. I'm not pressing it down yet until I get it right where I want it to go. Needs to be over. That looks great. So that's the right spot. Stick that down. And I could have put this all together with the back piece, but I was just being lazy. I didn't want to cut another crystal ball. I could have glued that to the back. It probably would have been better, but it just would have been one more extra step, one more step. But that would have made placement a little bit easier. This worked fine. All right, we're going to stick this down. And it is liquid glue, so I have a little bit of wiggle room to get it, again, matched up in the right spot. There we go. Okay. Kind of see her right there. You see where she's lit up? Spooky. Okay, put this down for just a second. Let's grab these. Final touches or sentiment. Oh, good. I was afraid I lost it. Oh, gosh, Beth. You got this. You would have been able to. I have confidence in you. I'm going to pop this up with foam adhesive. But I lost it, of course. Where did it go? Here it is, here it is, here it is. I got my black foam adhesive that I'll use again. My fingers are still dirty. I see white pigment ink. She does look spooky, right? She looks like she has bags under her eyes thanks to my bad stamping, my bad aligning. But, you know, I think it worked. It's working in our favor, I think. We're going to stick our sentiment down with some foam adhesive. Let's remove the backing. Here we go. Something like that. Kind of only have one go with that because that film is so sticky. We're going to pop this butterfly up. He is going to be kind of where the button is. I'm going to use some foam adhesive for that as well. I'll just use black because it's what I got out right now. I was going to switch to white, but it's like, why, Shannon? Why? This is fine. I'm going to make a fair, I'm going to use more foam adhesive than I normally would, just so it has a nice solid place to press so it doesn't feel flimsy. It feels sturdy when you press on it. Oh yeah, totally good. And now we're ready for the rest of the butterflies. Now these have a lot of thickness that they're kind of going over. I have like a weird spot there. It's driving me nuts. Let's see if I can get it off. Yeah, came off. Great. You know what? I think that's right, Janet. I think the mess up is only aiding, right? It's only improving my card. These butterflies might go in a different spot than my OG card just because the vapors are a little bit different. We'll see. Kind of like him there. I got to figure out where these go before I do the foam adhesive. Maybe I don't want him there. Maybe I'll just stick with what I did and what I did before. I like him there. He's going there. Just make a decision and we'll have that one over there. Okay, I like that. Good, Polly. I'm glad you feel like you can give it a go. That's great. Sure. Okay, I've got just my thicker foam. It is. I've got thicker black foam, a little taller. I think I need it for the height of the, to go over the crystal ball a little bit. He's going to go up here like so. This one's going to go down here. I stamped it on a 65-pound weight white cardstock. So think of, you know, I think I had it left over from my early card making days. It's just Recollections brand, you know, terrible cardstock that we all probably started with from Michael's. That's what I used. So go a little lower. Cute. I like it a little lower. The 65 weight again is you can actually do the technique with a heavier weight cardstock, but I think you have better results if you use the 65 weight because you are shining the light through the back side of your stamped image, and it's just less material to have to go through if it's a lower weight cardstock. Yes, cheap, and it's actually really great for this. I know we all probably have a piece or two still lying around from when we started before we all realized that heavyweight cardstock is so wonderful and dreamy and that you just can't, 65-pound is just not going to cut it. And I had that took a lot of arm twisting for me because I'm a frugal girl, and I was like, really, is it really that much better? And then yeah, then I like held it and worked with it and die cut with it. And I'm like, okay, yes, I need 100-pound cardstock. I think that's what I need in my life. All right, it is done. She is done. Turn her on. Look at our, see if I can get it without the glare. Why does it look so glary? How do I do that better? You can kind of see her a little bit there. It's definitely better in person. But there's our girl, all spooky, our little Madame Leota. Very fun, very cool. Super fun card. All right, guys. Now that we're finished with our cards with the August Hero Studio, let's take a look, a sneak peek at the September Hero Studio. Well, the September card kit specifically. That's all I'm going to show you is the card kit from September. I have it hiding under my pumpkin. Let's grab it. Okay. September's such a, I know, the sneak peek. We were so into making our cards. They took some time. Oh, and you know what I need? Some white cardstock so you guys can see it proper. So you can see it properly. All right. So this is the upcoming card kit for September. This won't be available to purchase until, well, it won't be released until the 1st. But you can start, if you see this and you like this, you can, and you're not a current subscriber to the card kit, you can subscribe for this kit starting, I believe, gosh, I forget every single time. I think it's the 27th. Let me check real quick. I think I can figure that out really fast. I don't know why it's so hard for my brain to remember this, but it is. Let's see here. Yep, you'll start seeing sneak peeks very soon of this kit. I'm straight up, for you guys who are come to the Stampcraft, you get to see the whole thing, which is pretty cool. I'm just looking here. I thought it said it over here when it was available. I think it's the 27th of the month, so in a couple days. That did not say. That was unhelpful. I'm going to pop back over here and see what. Drum roll. All right, let's just get to the good stuff, right? All right. So first up included in the September card kit is a large 6x8 stamp set. This beautiful clear set. You can see that mine is already well loved and used because I love the images. You have a bunch of these adorable little squirrels. They're so cute in a bunch of different poses. There's pumpkins of various sizes, mushroom, book, rake, and leaves, acorns, bunches of leaves and acorns, and a tree stump. It's a really great set. You have some fun sentiments as well. Of course, there's a coordinating die for this. Oops. Here is the die set. These are dies that cut out all of the images. So every image you see here, even including all those leaves and the acorns, which are spread out. Oh, there's a cup of coffee I forgot, or a cup of cocoa there, image there too. So you can have the squirrels holding, reading a book, or holding the hot cocoa, or holding the acorns, you know, whatever you want. This is a nice little tree kind of carved heart because there is a awesome die included in this set. Let's see, can I show everything? Let's go like this. It's better to see the stamps, I think, than the coordinating dies. I love the leaf garland too, Rosie. It's so cute. Also included is this die set that cuts out a tree trunk that's the size of an A2. It actually fills top to bottom and across will be a whole A2 size. Actually, let's show you. This is A2 in here. Let's put that. And I just want to show you how big it is. See how it fills your A2 card front? Like so. So that's really cool. It becomes like your focal point. And of course, that can be where you have all your squirrels hanging out, right? On the branches. Also, there is a die here that you can cut out an opening, a little hole in your, well, a big hole rather, in your tree for your squirrels to be. And there's even these wonderful kind of like debossing dies. They do actually cut, but they cut like if you were to carve the tree again, that kind of idea. I love you, you and me. and then this tree and or not tree, that's a heart and an arrow. So very cool set. Really fun to have that. I love having stamp images that work with a kind of die base. I think that's a lot of fun and allows a lot of room for play. But of course, these images work all on their own. I'll actually show you 2 cards with this. I'll show you a card created with just the squirrels and the leaves and the trunk and the pumpkins. And then I'll show you a card with the squirrels in with the tree trunk. But that's not all. There's more, of course, included in this kit besides these 3 kind of anchor products here. Also included, you have some cute little twine. Isn't that cute? Very pretty, very fall. I could see that be used with those leaves there. Also could just be a nice like thread nest or tied as bows. Super cute. Then you have these enamel dots. Now mine are used, but you'll obviously have a full set. But this is our sunset pack of enamel dots. So some great colors there that you can incorporate. And of course you get some cardstock included in this kit. This is the cardstock here. There are 10 sheets. They're all half sheets. So they're all 8.5 by 5.5. But we have, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember all the names. I think this is espresso, cinnamon, terracotta, carrot, coral, Bellini. That's what this one is. Beeswax, Tuscan, and saffron. So some beautiful colored. Oh, I'm missing one. Oh, there it is. The maroon one. I think it's called Merlot. There you go. So like it's called a wine. But beautiful colors here. So pretty. Yeah, I appreciate the cardstocks too. Like I love it. I love having a palette kind of set for me. It just makes it more fun. Fun with those sunset enamel dots. Of course, the twine looks so good together. All super fun. Let me show you some cards I created, just a couple. So you can kind of see how these look stamped out and colored, because I think sometimes it's really hard to see what a stamp set really looks like. I don't think I got them all right, Rosie. I don't think I got them all right. Here's the card that I created. I watercolored this. I love watercoloring leaves and fall things. I think watercolor is just the perfect medium for that kind of style, that feel. It just encapsulates fall. I think that organic, loose, shifting in color look. I love it. And you can see I colored my little squirrely guy there. So cute. Love all the pumpkins. He's sitting on that tree stump and a bunch of leaves there decorate. Very, very fun. That's just with the stamp set and the coordinating dies. Here's another card that I created where I took my squirrels and created a scene with that awesome tree trunk there. Again, did some I did watercoloring again to my squirrels and the acorns, cut out that opening, did use those additional dies that you see here and here together on the tree to add some more texture. Isn't that fun with those cut on there? And I think they work so well with the sentiment, you've got this, and it's like you and me, we got it, and I love you. So really fun, lots of play. I've seen some of the cards created by the creative team already. You guys are in for a treat. They've really knocked it out of the park with kind of the narrating or the story they were able to create with these images and the scene. I think there's a lot of fun and play there you can have with kind of creating a little story with these, because these are really great images, and even the die is great for scene building. And I think scene building cards are so fun. I'm gonna go ahead and change to my view here. And Miss Craft, oh, I'm sorry you weren't here today, Crystal. I noticed you weren't here. I have to catch the replay. Yes, you do. It is a long one, and we made a light up card, so it takes a little bit more time. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me and creating these 2 cards with the August Hero Studio card kit and Hero Studio stamp and cut. Though we did use a lot of other things on this card. We did use the card kit, and we did use the magic mist stencil, but they're very fun. Let's do the light up just one more time for good measure. Oh, look at how spooky she is. She's so spooky. And then at the end, we did the sneak peek of the September card kit. I hope you guys enjoyed checking that out. And that'll be releasing again September 1st, but you will start to see some sneak peeks in just a few days. We'll have those coming out soon, next week, actually. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you. When's my next live? My next live will be August 2nd. The day after the Hero Studio releases. I'll do a spotlight and I'll go over all the products from the September Hero Studio, as well as do a card as well. So thank you guys, and I will see you hopefully then. Bye, everyone.